This is Michaela McLean, and you're listening to Beauty by Design. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. It's already time to talk about another gate 23. But before we get into it, just a couple things I want to chat with you about. My Golden Experience Guide course, of course, your energetic marketing guide, and in honor of gate 23, which is all about simplicity. I just want to cut right to the chase. It's like if you're an esthetician, you're anybody really, but if you're an esthetician, you need this course. Um, it's going to help you understand yourself, market yourself better, connect with your clients better, retain those clients, call in your golden clients because you know who you are. Especially if you're blessed enough to get to the point in your career where you don't need to see everybody and you can really filter out and get specific about who you want to see every month after month, year after year, like I used to. So this is the way. And I keep saying this, but it's like this truly is like the foundational course that if you want to come with me where I am headed, and I promise you there's some like really cool ish coming, like super cool, start here, right? And if you're not ready to start there, go grab my free guide. That is beautiful. It's redesigned. You're gonna, do your chart, find out your aura type, check out the free guide. The free guide, every aura type, it links directly to an $11 class. That is 1 hour. And it's so worth it's obviously worth way more than $11, but it's like, I wanted to make these things accessible to people to get them started. So you can go take that class. All of those aura type classes are contained inside of the Golden Experience Guide, just FYI. If you are like, okay, I want to learn the stuff and I want to learn about everybody, it's all in there. But if you're just ready to dip your toe in the water, do the $11 class. That's the place to start. And then I've got my yoga nidra for clear skin, healing that relationship to yourself and your own beauty, how you feel about yourself. It's amazing for the treatment room, but amazing for home care, not only for yourself, heal you, heal your patients, right? But also to refer to your patients and clients, that they can be listening to this every night as a supplement to their skincare, to their treatments that they're having with you as an esthetician, as a practitioner. It's incredible, science supported, which I love, right? Yoga Nidra is magic. Of course, check that out. I have some new ones and some new cool things coming. Working on a current project with my friend Alex Sands, the energetic facialist. So it's like we've got something brewing over here for her. Of course, I have things in the works for Little Fox, some really, really cool stuff. That brand is my homie. Um, oh, I just don't want to spoil it. Like I just, just keeping on the precipice of like some cool things happening. So, and again, like kind of on down the list, God, I feel like I'm all over. See, simplicity. I'm all over the place. This is me. I don't have this gate. Spoiler alert. But so many cool things happening, kind of like seeds being planted with different friends and stuff. And I'm just really excited to get to talk about all of it when it's like ready to go. But my one-on-ones are still waitlist. You can email me. Links are all in the show notes, of course, or my Instagram bio at Michaela McLean. Go over there. You can follow me over there and get all the things that you need to, like I said, get on the wait list. If you do want to do one-on-one, I just have to like limit what I'm allowing for my time. So let's move on. Here's your disclaimer. Don't try to understand this at the mental level. Let the sound current, the energy, the frequency of beauty sink into your cells. This is like Bob Ross is your esthetician. Just kick back and have a listen. So we are continuing to move through Taurus, Human Design Gate 23, located in the throat center, which is part of the individual knowing circuitry. People with individual circuitry have a deep inner knowing that they are here to be true to themselves, which leads to mutation, evolution, and positive change in the world. And the throat itself just is the energy center. It's the center for communication, self-expression, manifestation. All the energy in the chart is trying to make it to the throat to have something done about it. So gate 23 is known as splitting apart. It's the gate of assimilation. This gate, this is the gate that gives voice to deep inner knowing, communicating individual insights. And the keynote here is I know or not, communicating individual insights. So the low expression of 23 is like not gauging your audience or not waiting for the right time to speak about the things that you know in your bones. And this, kind of like, sorry, side note, we're having a tangent, but as a pure individual myself, it's like we just know what we know, and oftentimes we have no clue how we know it. So it can be very it can be a little stressful, because you're like, God, I want to say this thing, but where the heck did this come from? Right. So it can also show up as speaking unintelligently or not translating what you know into a coherent, cohesive, communicable thought form, talking about things that you don't really know or understand, over communicating, oversharing, talking too much, over complicating. That's like really key here. Over complicating things is like, the antithesis to 23. It could also be like not saying anything, being afraid to use your voice, that classic blocked throat chakra diagnosis that you hear people throwing around. The high expression, clear, concise, and efficient communication of even the most far out concepts. It's like keeping it easy to digest. KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right? This is the pure distillation communicating the refined, essential essence of a message that you're trying to transmit. Like being a minimalist in your articulation, but choosing the correct words. Basically, that enables this powerful expression of unique individual insights. So when you wait for the right timing and can explain yourself in this manner, it's incredibly impactful and capable of inspiring major change and evolution in others. Individual circuitry is here to stay true to itself and let others come around to their way of thinking. I always think of this gate as, and I call it the divine translator. In the tarot, Taurus, which this is a Taurus gate, Taurus's card is the Hierophant, the divine translator. And I just think that correlation is so interesting. It's like it's receiving messages from above, just like, from the ethers, and then bringing it down and making it make sense, for other people, that explain it to me like I'm 5 kind of thing. This is the talent of 23. Now, in the gene keys, its shadow is complexity, its gift is simplicity, and its city is quintessence. And the gene keys in it, Richard Rudd states, this is the alchemy of simplicity. And in the 64 ways, he says, the shadow has a tendency to make our lives complicated. The problem is that the 23rd shadow takes us so far down the road of complexity because we don't trust the simple, that we end up far, far away from who we really are. Remember this always. Complexity equals anxiety. Simplicity equals serenity. The 23rd shadow brings us a powerful focus in life. Will this decision make our life more complex, or will it keep it easy? That's an art to master. Every one of us knows deep inside that we can only be at peace when our life is simple. Knowing that changes everything. The 23rd gene key wants a clean life, a simple life, and it so rarely creates that because it never slows down enough simply to design its own life. And he goes on to talk about timing, the rhythm of life stages, and goes in this whole segment that's about basically like using your hands, being analog in a digital world. And he talks about this specifically when anxiety strikes someone, he's like, use your hands. And it was just like instantly like my estheticians with anxiety. It's like, get in there, use your hands. But he also even talks about the accumulation as being like part of this shadow. It's like it's stuff, accumulating stuff, opinions, beliefs, worries, too much information, right? Digital world. It's like the open source. We have access to everything rather than really pulling back and being like, I've found a source that distills this, and you know what I'm saying? Like, keeping it simple. And anyway, he goes on and says, be rebellious, be simple, be powerful. The 23rd gift will put you through a transformation process in which you'll gradually simplify every aspect of your life, inner and outer. So yeah, I was just like, wow, what in life actually is quintessential, And then I was like thinking about that in the sense of like, I love essential oils. And you're like, they literally are the distillation of like the pure essence of a plant or a flower, a wood, whatever. Especially when it's like a single, and that's why I think of this, like there's blends and they're beautiful and everything, but this is like single oils, the pure plant essence, no filler, no nothing, right? It's like chew on that. Okay, so my notes here. This is part of a projected channel. Projector rules apply, seen, recognized, invited. Like basically just kind of like marinate in these thoughts. Hold your tongue until it's time to speak. You've been invited to share your mutative inner knowing. The programming partner with this one is, it's so if the sun is in 23, the earth is automatically in 43, and that's Scorpio. And this is always fun because this is one of the few places in the charts where the programming partner and the channel partner are one and the same. And I love the simplicity of that, right? So 43 is known as breakthrough. It's the gate of insight, and it carries a fear of rejection. This is an ajna gate, so all of the awareness centers, ajna, the spleen, the emotional solar plexus, those are all awareness centers, and they all have like fears and anxieties associated with them. So the keynote here is having unique perspectives, mental anxiety that your ideas are too weird and will be rejected, and the need to make sense to others. So 43 is very much genius energy, having these insights that are very ahead of their time. If you have it, just know you're somebody that receives these things that are futuristic, get comfortable with claircognizance like this. Again, that deep inner knowing of individual circuitry that we have. You're just like, I don't know. I just know. Um, it's spontaneous. It hits you like a lightning bolt. And of course, like when a 43 person is invited to share, it's like they've got this ability to share amazing things and basically help other people quantum leap, right? Into like new situations, level up, all of that. Um, when the two come together, when the 23 and the 43 meet and they create the channel of structuring, it basically is giving voice to this deep inner knowing, which can help empower others to make those quantum leaps forward in their understanding. Is potentially like very mind-blowing stuff. Like this channel is really cool. The full channel is like one of the nicknames of it is from genius to freak. The founder of human design always called pure individuals like myself the freaks because, this is amazing. You're the carrier of mutation, but you have to remember that in this case, it's projected. You got to wait for an invitation. You have to wait for the right timing. You have to wait for the right people to want to receive your insight, right? This is imperative to you successfully getting your thoughts across. Otherwise, you're seen as the weirdo that's just like, you know, I know something, I know, and wanting to like, shout that rather than, and it doesn't make sense, people aren't wrong place, wrong time. Lord, I can just go off on that for myself, and I don't even have this channel, but, when you're surrounded by the right people that really want to hear this stuff, it's incredible. And then, the wrong ones that are just not picking up what you're putting down. It's like, don't try with them. Basically, projectors, like, you don't waste your energy on that. Or anybody with this full channel. You could be other designs with this. Anyway, one thing to remember, or one thing to be aware of, is that if this was the only channel in your chart, this would make you a mental projector. So this channel is kind of, you got to take that into consideration for it. So it's like your mind is not meant to make decisions for you. Doesn't matter what your aura type. For everybody, the mind is that's not it, guys. It's like it's an outer authority to benefit other people. And then also pay attention to the colors in this situation specifically. Oh, the color means something, whether it's black, red, or red and black, but especially if this full channel were to be red or even part of it, because you may be really unaware of the things that you're thinking and or saying, blurting out, just, letting your mouth run wild. It's like really, really, really work on explaining your thinking. And especially if you're a parent and say you have a child that has this, especially if it's in red, helping them understand, the more that they practice explaining how they know what they know or how they got there, the better basically for people to understand them as they get older and, have more opportunities to share these things. Um, like I said, you'd be a mental projector if this is the only thing that you had in your chart. And basically it's like that, the knowing for a mental projector, their strategy, their authority, it's like wait for the invitation. And then, it's like the way they're going to know things are correct is that they're able to speak out loud. They speak in environments that feel good to them, to people that feel good to them, so that they can hear themselves and hear what they know. All individual circuitry, again, I myself being one, it's like we're very auditory, very acoustic, and a mental projector really needs to hear, they need to hear themselves, like very important. So these people, it's so funny. These people are not thinking or believing they know. That is the key to individual circuitry, and it's so rad. It's like, how did you get here? So it's like, how do you figure out how to explain that? It's so fascinating. um so like I said, individuals, like myself, it's like outsiders, outsiders are seen as threats to the tribe and the collective because they are the bringers of change. And this channel in particular helps excuse me, helps others understand that there is another, you could say, like, new and improved way of thinking, seeing things. So you can see, like when an individual is like different, yet they bring the mutation that everybody else needs to kind of get on board with. People are very resistant to change. So, you know, individual circuitry it's a whole thing. So astrologically, this is a Taurus and Scorpio opposition. So we've got the water earth opposition. Again, you'd have the pair automatically if your sun or earth was in either one of these places. And same thing if your north or south node. Those are the two sets of placements that come as a pair. Like there's no separating that. You would get the full channel. There are other ways to get the channel. It doesn't have to be this way, but that's just an automatic placement. Um, and then the quarter of the wheel. Well, actually, let me go back and say I find this interesting because Scorpio is the 43, and there's the water, the intuition, the very etheric vibe. And then it's coming down to Taurus, right? The divine translator. It's bringing that like intuitive insight down. And what do we say about the throat? It's coming to have something done about it. It's coming to get out into the world and to be expressed and to like alchemize with the outside world. And so it's interesting because this quarter of the wheel that gate 23 is in the second quarter of civilization's purpose fulfilled through form. So it's bringing spirit into form, right? So communicating the individual insight so something can, transpire from there. So cool. So I don't have this gate or its partner, right? I don't have the 43 or the 23, but I love seeing this energy in a chart. Very inspired by it. Has like I said, this minimalistic quality to it. Like, what can you take away? It's very Chanel. Like Coco Chanel was always like, taking away, taking away. It's like, I just read something yesterday that was like talking about websites, and they're like, do you know that people actually only skim 20% of your website? So whatever they're reading needs to be powerful, needs to be purposeful. The words you use, that there's what's quintessential. It's like choosing super powerful stuff. My friend Josh Maniscalco, Agent RX, he just launched his cryopeptides mask last night, and he has gate 23. He's been so helpful with 23 for me, of like, stripping away a lot of things where I'm like, oh, too much, want to over explain whatever. And he's just like, no, it needs to be so simple. And so we were chatting in the morning before he did his webinar last night. And he was like, well, I wrote this stuff that I want to talk about. And I was like, no, he's got other things in his chart that I was like, very being able to speak intuitively and in the moment. But I was like, he's 23. This is where his unconscious Mars is. This is a vocation placement for him. He's supposed to serve people through this, like by keeping things simple. And I was like, dude, just make your bullet points of the topics that you want to touch on and keywords. Like if you're like, this word is very powerful, I want to get this word across, I want to make sure I include this word. I was like, just do that. And then trust yourself that you're going to do it. I'm like, he has the 23. He has the ability to speak very in the moment, very intuitively. I was like, let your gifts shine, right? Which also, side note, fun stuff in my Golden Experience Guide course, shameless plug. But if you're struggling and you don't know what certain words, like what is your energy and frequency supposed to be getting across? Like I'm very big on this, and you actually get a guide that has specific keywords to be using and things that will really make a lot of sense. It was cool. Ashley, who also had Gate 23, was like, she went through and she's added a module. She did this whole exercise, which was so fun, and was like, here's how I synthesized my whole chart through Michaela's course, and writing down and using these specific words. And it was too cute because like when she posted it, she's like, okay, I got it up. I watched it. And I was like, oh my God, how funny she used this word or that word. And I didn't know at the time about something else. And I was like, because I'll see things like that. And then she's like, no, I use those words intentionally. I put them in after the fact. And I was like, see, I love that. It's like, it just cuts right through. It's like, here are some key points about your design, communicate them, because I'm always saying this, like you're going to strengthen your signal. You're going to become even more you and more powerful in who you were designed to be by going through this stuff. And you're sending out that really strong signal, and the right people are going to find you. So anyway, we totally took a tangent there, but point being, I've got friends that have 23, and it's cool because I'm like, yeah, the simplification, like don't be anxious. Don't add more to your plate. Take more things away, make it pure, make it simple, make it beautiful. And then it's more powerful, right? That goes for like life all around. Okay, so do you have this gate defined in your chart? You're going to look at the ajna, which is where the mind, excuse me, we're looking at the throat. I'm thinking of the 43 that it connects to. The throat, top, middle, right in the center. It's going to be aiming up. It's going to say 23. If it's black, red, or red and black, you have it defined. Maybe it's white. Look up where I was just trying to instruct you to look to the 43 that's in the mind. That's the bottom of the triangle. That's the 43. It's coming down, and it's trying to connect with that. Maybe you have that one colored in and you're going to get this full channel. I'd be like, girl, you're going to get some cool insights for, the next week or so. Or actually I shouldn't say that. I'd be like, you're going to get the ability to communicate your insights really well for like a week. Anyway, I'm saying too much, but anyway, I love it. I love to hear if people have this, what it means to them, how it translates. You can always hit me up on Instagram at Michaela McLean. Let me know. And of course, I will be back soon with more. If this episode was of value to you, I would love it if you would leave it a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, because I put a lot of love into these. And yeah, it just is really nice to know that people are getting something out of it. And of course, if you want to learn more about all of this stuff, free guide, $11 classes, my golden experience guide course, so many more things coming out, coming your way very soon. Follow me on Instagram at Michaela McLean. Link in show notes, link in bio. You know where to find it all. And of course, until next time, have a beautiful day.